P-A-S-C-A-L.
Something that happened with Sharon Osbourne was very, very interesting. Just very interesting. There was no reason for Sharon Osbourne to be tripping the way she was, but she was tripping. Now, as you already know, man, let me be straightforward with y'all, okay? Let me just say this. Meghan Markle is not only the Meghan Markle interview and the interview with Oprah and everything is not only destroying the royal family, but it's also destroying other people's shows and other people's lives, apparently. Not only just Piers Morgan, but now another fellow Brit, Sharon Osbourne. Now, Sharon Osbourne is on the TV show The Talk. She's like one of the main heads of the show, okay? And she's having this discussion with Sheryl Underwood about racism. Now, the thing is that because, about Piers Morgan and how people are saying that Piers Morgan is a racist because of how his views on the whole Meghan Markle debacle, and how she's calling basically Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are calling the royal family racists. She is on this show and she starts tripping about, so suddenly because I'm a friend of Piers Morgan, I'm suddenly a racist by association type of thing. Now, we got to see this video, and there's more to this story that I'm going to show, because right now the show is on hiatus. They're playing reruns right now because of everything that sprouts off from this very video clip that I'm showing you right now. This may not be perfect, but hopefully this gives us a decent breakdown of what is going on, okay? So let's take a look at this.
Like to know, because I've been knowing you for years since I've been here, and I've never seen anything come out of you other than, if I don't know, I'm willing to learn. If it comes off a certain way, I stand corrected.
Right.
That's the only thing I've seen.
Yeah.
So what would you say to people who may feel that while you're standing by your friend, it appears that you give validation or safe haven to something that he has uttered that is racist?
Now, as she said in the very beginning of this video, she does say, hey, it's unfair for me to be thrown underneath this category of racist because I'm friends with Piers Morgan and I support his thoughts, right?
Even if you don't agree, am I saying it right? Okay,
I don't know what he's uttered that's racist. I'm not trying to slide out of this one.
Right.
I don't know. Tell me, what has he uttered that's racist?
Wednesday's episode of The Talk got intense as Sheryl Underwood confronted her co-host Sharon Osbourne for supporting Piers Morgan after he made controversial comments towards Meghan Markle following her sit-down interview with Oprah. Throughout the conversation, Sharon became very defensive over her friendship with Piers and even lashed out at Sheryl. Take a look.
Here we go.
I feel even like I'm about to be put in the electric chair because I have a friend who many people think is a racist, so that makes me a racist. And for me, at 68 years of age, to have to turn around and say, I ain't racist. What's it got to do with me? Okay, how
Interesting. It's because she's like cursing during that time, by the way.
can I be racist about anybody? How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life?
Okay.
How can I?
Here we go.
Well,
What?
We will
what?
be right
Well,
back.
what?
We have more topics,
So
don't go away.
And I think we should stop this.
you heard that? Stop this effing BS. Okay. There's more. There's more, and I'm gonna get to it. Hopefully, I don't. Like I said, I'm not trying to copyright stuff. You know what I'm saying? You gotta love that ish. But here it is. Right off the bat, she's getting super defensive. Clearly, and she says, and she continues to go, "How can I be racist? How can I be racist?" Okay. Usually the main thing, okay, the dead giveaway of someone saying, I can't be racist, I'm not racist, means you're racist. I'm sorry. When somebody says, I don't have a racist bone in my body. When they say something like this, that means you racist. No way, shape, or form you can smack it up, flip it, rub it down. It doesn't mean nothing. When you start saying I don't have a racist bone in my body, that is not true. I'm sorry. There's no way. Okay, all of us can be a little racist sometimes. Okay, real talk, real freaking talk. Okay.
I will ask you again, Sheryl. Yes. I've been asking you during the break. Right. I'm asking you again. And don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me.
Now, see, okay, sorry, but I got to bring this up. This is a problem I got. This is a huge problem I got right there. Right there. That thing right there that we just saw, where she's sitting there going, you shouldn't be crying. I should be crying. I got a big problem with that. One thing that let me try to explain something to you guys. I'm not saying that I have to explain this to you. Like, the thing I got to explain to Sharon Osbourne is that, do you know how many times do you have any idea? Do you have any idea how many times a black person is put into this situation, into this awkward situation of, oh, please explain to me how this isn't racist. Please explain to me how that isn't racist. How am I racist for doing this, that, and the third? Do you know how many times a black person has to be put in that situation to try to explain, let's just say the history of, say, the origin of that word that you may have uttered or that phrase that you may have uttered? I'm just saying. Do you know how many times somebody of color has been put in that position? I can sit here and I can go, I can't even count on I'm out of fingers and toes. Because a lot of times, no offense, but a lot of white people who seem to be, let's just say completely disjointed with reality, will sit here and say and look exactly how she's acting right now. They will sit there defiantly going, I dare you to challenge me on trying to say that I'm racist. Or how is that racist? How is that mean? Pascal, please explain that to me. You're my black friend. Please explain it to me. And it's like, whoa, now Sheryl has to be the token black friend that has to sit down, woosah herself, of course, and try to explain something to a woman that probably should have already known this piece of information by now. But the fact that she is on top of that going, hey, no, you shouldn't be tearing up. The only person in this room that should be tearing up is me, is a problem. That clearly shows that you're not willing to learn anything. You clearly are stuck in your ways. You're not going to change. I mean, she old. Okay, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, apparently. But at the same time, if you're going to turn to a woman and ask her or bring up this conversation about racism, and you're not even willing to listen to her, clearly you're not willing to listen to anyone, and you're going to stick to your own laurels. It's not going to change. You ain't ready to change. You ain't wanting to change. And that is the problem with most people these days. You'll let Sheryl try to explain to you, but it goes in one ear and out the other, and then 5 years later, you're having the same damn conversation, except this time, cameras won't be rolling. You'll be home, sipping your tea with your token best black friend, asking them, please explain this to me, and then the saga continues. It's very frustrating to me about this piece.
This is the situation.
Yes.
You tell me where you have heard him say, educate me, tell me when you have heard him say racist things. Educate me, tell me.
It is not the exact words of racism. It's the implication and the reaction to it, to not want to address that because she is a black woman and to try to dismiss it or to make it seem less than what it is. That's what makes it racist. But right now, I'm talking to a woman who I believe is my friend.
Now, we can't watch this whole thing because I don't want to watch this whole thing. But let me tell you this. I give Sheryl Underwood serious props for having as much patience as she did have. Because Sharon Osbourne did not need to get so defensive and get all up in her face like that. There was no reason for that. You're asking an honest question, you're going to get an honest answer. And if it's awkward and hard for this woman to speak to you in this way, because obviously this is your friend, this is somebody you work with countless times, and you respect her opinion, then you should shut up, sit down, and listen to what the woman's saying instead of getting defensive. Because obviously, like I said, you're not willing to listen to what she has to say. You're not listening at all. What were you going to say, David?
I was going to say, I think part of it too might be. Well, quick question: is this Ozzy's wife or is this his daughter?
This is no. This is Ozzy's wife.
Wife. Okay.
Yes.
So she is older then for sure.
Yes.
I thought so. I just wasn't positive there, but either way,
you're good.
I think part of it is that two, they seem to be talking about a different thing here. The Osbourne seems to be expecting an overt thing, something overt, like you can point to this, like he said this about black people, he said this, or we did this thing that offended people. Mm-hmm. But the show host, on the other hand, seems to be talking more about the subtle aspects, and she doesn't seem to be they don't seem to be connecting on that level, right? She's talking about the net behavior of the individual, while Osbourne is talking about how pretty much just looking for like this kind of extravagant outwards display of racism. And it just seems like either she's unwilling or it's just unaware of like the different ways things like that can present themselves. And she's definitely defensive. I mean, I don't know why she's offensive per se. I can only guess, but I think part of it is because she doesn't want to be called racist. Maybe she does have something there. I don't know. But
we're gonna get to it. I'm getting to that point. I'm getting to that part of the story. Trust and believe. We're getting to it. But I wanted to show you guys a little bit of the background story before we get into this next part, because it's a much bigger story. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Kind of like the Sarah Everard story is a much bigger story than just a cop being tried now for the murder of her life. You know what I'm saying? And then of course the attacks that happened, or not the attacks, but the vigil, the stuff that happened at the vigil. This part though is important because you see this, and then there's more to it. So there's a reason why. But and I love what you just said, David. I just want to make sure that right,
we see everything first.
That we see everything first, of course. But there is parts of it, and I like I said, I love hearing your 2 cents on stuff. So it's not that at all. Now the thing is that there's more to this story. Now, I just told you that the talk has been canceled, or the talk has canceled a couple upcoming shows, right? They're doing a deep dive into something that I found very interesting. Because of something that Holly Robinson Peete said. Apparently, now, the talk cancels upcoming shows as CBS begins probe into Sharon Osbourne's defense of Piers Morgan and denies calling former co-host Holly Robinson Peete, quote unquote, too ghetto. Yes. So that's the whole title of the story today, but this is it. So the talk has canceled its 2 upcoming live shows after CBS launched a probe into Sharon Osbourne's bust up with Sheryl Underwood over Piers Morgan. It is revealed Sunday that the show will not air Monday or Tuesday. Wednesday's show is set to go ahead, apparently Deadline reports. Journalist Vargas and singer Carly Pearce had both been scheduled to appear on the canceled shows. No one really cares. Okay, Osbourne had launched into a passionate defense of Morgan on Wednesday's The Talk, one day after she had also tweeted her support of him. Her resulting spat with co-host Underwood on the issue is now being investigated by the network. I mean, clearly, we all saw that it was really, really bad. I mean, like I said, she's not willing to listen. She's not listening. You see it in the video. She's not listening. She is so defiant. She is so set in her thoughts that even when Sheryl is trying to explain to her the stuff, and you got to remember though too, there's a lot of pressure on Sheryl too, because you're going, hey, Sheryl, representative of all black people, speak on behalf of all black people to me. And that's wrong. That's wrong. And that's what's so frustrating about this whole situation, because we all live in this situation. Every person of color, every black person, Asian, etc., deals with this ish. And we all end up being that one person, that this white person or someone who says something racist or totally uncouth confides into and says, hey, black person, you represent all black people, or you represent all Asians or Indians or whatever. Please speak on behalf of the entire black community so that I can keep going, so I can keep doing what I'm doing. That's exactly what she put the corner that Sharon Osbourne put Sheryl into. Real talk. And that's not fair. That's not right. And you can see Cheryl's like, oh boy, now I got to talk to you about this thing and speak on behalf of everyone. Because now you're going to take that information and walk off. You know what I'm saying? You're going to take that information and walk off to do whatever you need to do. So let's continue. Then on Saturday, she was forced to deny calling another former co-star, Holly Robinson Peete, too ghetto for the show. Yeah. Osbourne, obviously we already know she is the wife of Ozzy Osbourne, says she never uttered those words. She posted a screenshot of an email that says she was sent by Robinson Peete in 2011, arguing the note speaks for itself on the issue. In that, Robinson Peete, 56, seems to suggest the reason that she was removed from the show was down to Julie Chen, the former wife of CBS chairman Les Moonves, and not Osbourne. Now, the email notes, CBS is doing behind-the-scenes damage to my career with other studios and nets. I know you're in a tough spot. That came after Robinson Peete, who co-hosted the first season of The Talk in 2010, had claimed Osbourne got her fired, tweeting, I'm old enough to remember when Sharon complained that I was too ghetto for the hashtag The Talk. Then I was gone. I bring this up now because I was mortified watching this disrespectful, condescending tone she took with her co-host, who remained calm and respectful because she had to. I've always been a high road girl, but when I watched what everyone else saw on my former show, it triggered me and I wanted to speak out, the actress added on Instagram. Morgan came under fire after she left. Morgan came under fire because he stormed out of the British great Good Morning Britain, following comments he made about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Anyway, so now there are accusations. There are accusations of this tweet, not this tweet, but of Sharon Osbourne saying that Holly Robinson Peete is too ghetto for the show. And she's denying these accusations. She's saying, I've never uttered those words. And and I'm sharing an email sent to me from Holly 1 month after she was let go by CBS, which is a piece of that email, I guess, that we just saw a second ago. And yeah, so apparently they are saying now that things are being on hold with the show because she had said, allegedly, that Holly Robinson Peete is too ghetto. That's the reason why the show is on hold right now as we speak. Interesting. She said the only ghetto I know is the Warsaw Ghetto, and I think that's the only time I've ever referred to something like that.
Who said that?
That's what Osbourne said. Sharon Osbourne. She's denying it. She's basically saying, these allegations are 110% a lie.
Everyone knows what ghetto means.
Yeah, everyone
slum.
knows. But that right. She said, I cannot have anyone fired, and that's not the term I use. That's not in my vocabulary. I don't speak like that. So, I mean, I guess we'll see what the story is as time goes on. But there it is. So the thing that's been going on is that, like I was saying before, it's frustrating when you are in a situation, as we saw in that video, you see in that video somebody who's out there trying to, I guess, understand where they're coming from, right? Understand, like, hey, I'm not a racist. I'm not this, that, and the third. But most of the time, when you were sitting there saying, I'm not a racist, most of the time you did something that was pretty racist. That's my personal opinion. If you have to say that, you know what I'm saying? If you have to say that, if you have to say that out loud, then there's something that you did that could be confirmed or, considered racist.
Did they call her a racist first?
I think what happened is she was on Twitter. She was on the twits. She backed homeboy, Piers Morgan. She said, hey, whatever she said, I don't know what the tweet is. But I'm assuming she just said, hey, whatever he's saying, he's got a good fact. If there is somebody out there that is a part of this, anybody in the racist family, in the royal family being racist, if you have the person's name, say it out loud. And that's basically what Piers Morgan said, too. I mean, but Piers Morgan has been saying more than just that. I mean, he's been going all the way in because, obviously he's got some jealous feelings about some other things. But anyway, I digress. So she puts this tweet out. And my assumption is that Twitter went ablaze on her and was just like, hey, okay, you racist too. If you're going to back him up, you racist too. So that's why she was on the show going, how can I be racist if I don't have a racist bone in my body? Now you got Holly Robinson Peete coming out going, hey, just so y'all know, I lost the show because she said I was too ghetto for the show.
In this case, if she wasn't defensive and didn't if this whole thing we just watched didn't happen, this story might have went away. I think so. The fact that she went on there to say that she's not racist, even if she believed that, that's part of what exacerbates the situation. I don't know exactly what she intended or anything, but it does give yeah. I mean, it just looks like that is, like you said, that's kind of not always the case, but just the defensiveness of it is a little strange. I think if I was in her case and I didn't do anything I thought was racist and someone said it, I would just kind of ignore them or just rationally explain why I didn't think it was. I don't think I'd get defensive, but maybe that's just me. I don't really know Sharon or anything. But it does seem to me that just based on the things she said, even if she doesn't realize it, there's some of that deep-seated kind of inner consciousness, if not necessarily in her daily speech. It's still in there to some degree.
Yeah,
I would say that. Yeah.
No. I mean, it's that, or it's the whole okay. Let me try to say this, and because I try to, and I'm trying to get comfortable too. So here it is. I understand. Like, listen to my white listeners, to the white side of the family, you know, to my white co-hosts. Let me just say this. Like, I understand that y'all are not going to be on point all the time. Just like it's the same thing on the other side of the fence. Any other person that's brown, blue, black, purple, polka dotted, it doesn't matter. We are all naive and have ignorant moments. Period. We all have racist moments. I'm sorry to say that, but we all are a little racist sometimes. Everyone is. Everyone. Okay? Now, so I'm not going to sit here and look at Sharon Osbourne and go, oh, you're a terrible human being because this, that, and the third. I'm saying that she is a terrible human being because of how she walked into the conversation and approached Sheryl in that conversation. There's a difference on how she approached it and how somebody else may have approached it. Same thing happened with Piers. Let's talk about Piers for a second. Piers screwed the pooch hard. Why? Because it wasn't what he was saying. It was how he approached the situation and how he walked off the set during said conversation. Sharon Osbourne, who could have clearly, easily turned this conversation into a moment of, I'm just trying to understand because I want to be a better person. She came at this with so much defiance and so much anger and vitriol. How are you supposed to be able to have a conversation with somebody when they're acting like that? When clearly it's like somebody who does something really bad. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that she did anything bad. She had every right to go on her Twitter and put out the twits. She has absolute every right to do that. I don't care. I don't follow her on Twitter. I don't give a damn. But when she goes onto her platform, a very big platform, and this conversation about race comes up, it's a very big conversation that you need to have, right? It's a big thing. So you have multiple people, millions and millions of people at your platform that consume your show. This could be wow, it's so funny how I say this all the time, but it's true. This could be a very teachable moment for the Americans and other people, you know, other countries that happen to watch this particular show, that are a fan of Sharon Osbourne, that are a fan of Sheryl Underwood. This is an opportunity to have that put that conversation on a platform where a white woman and a black woman are having a civil conversation. But it doesn't go that way. They turn, she goes, you don't get to cry. The one person that should be crying should be me. No. This is not how you bring up a conversation. This is not how you talk about certain things. Her coming out the way she did makes her look really, really bad. Now, whether she called Holly Robinson Pete too ghetto for the show or something like that, that's up to CBS and what they're going to do and all that. Whether she gets taken down because of doing that, that is up to them. But where she literally lost viewers, I'm sure, was how she came in so heated and so angry. Same thing with Piers Morgan. There's going to be people that are going to have Piers Morgan's back no matter what. You know, in fact, he's probably going to be leaning even more towards that audience even more now when he comes back from whatever hibernation that he's in. You know, there's a way to approach situations and talk about these things properly, especially when you are doing these things on TV. Why lose your cool like that? It only makes you look bad. It makes you look like an idiot. It makes you look like a bigot. an ignorant, stubborn racist. When all you're trying to say is, I'm not racist. But then you're doing stupid things and you're telling this woman, this black woman, you're being defiant against her. You're basically saying, you don't get to cry. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Do you rule, Sheryl? Is she like an AI? Is she like a robot in which you can control everything that she has going on inside of her body? No. Then it's like the whole thing. Exactly, Ryan. You tell me type of thing. I'm sorry. This is the problem with most black people. This is the problem that most black people have to deal with on a daily. It's that whole, damn it. I'm in that situation again. I'm sorry to say it, but it really is that. It's damn, I'm here again. Because we all go through this at least once or twice. Or 3 times, 4 times. Countless times. Where we have to step onto the platform and try to explain stuff on behalf of being part of the black community. And the pressure of trying to explain to people that is so frustrating. Then when Sheryl tries to explain it to her, she's cursing, she's getting angry, she's being defiant. That's not how you go and have a conversation about something that is so sensitive. You know, when somebody does something really bad, this is what I was trying to say. When somebody does something really, really bad, right? They, like, say a guy goes out there and cheats, let's just say, right? Then he goes home and he's trying to get back on his girl's good graces. He doesn't go at the girl all defiant. He's the one who did the bad thing. Why come at them in such a defiant fashion? That only makes you look like a jerk. That just makes you look like a jerk. It doesn't help you. It hinders you.
And people in chat are saying that normally she's pretty calm and collected while she's talking to people. So this is very uncharacteristic of her.
Yeah.
And
No, seriously. But that's the thing, though. For someone to get all hot and bothered about something, this was the wrong time to get hot and bothered about something. She had plenty of opportunities to shut the hell up. And she didn't.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.